Sad ću palta meni, ima. Hello, who do we have here? We are here to talk about boxing. Šta ti to znači, majke ti, tetrive? Bježe, ovo je samo za boks se čuo. Ako niješ pričat o boksu, a sigurno ne znaš toliko, onda Vanka. Ma, jel de? Jesi me se poželio? A ništa, šta će se šat, dobro je, mislim, sve ok. Dobro. Mislim, meni nije, šta znam, ja se nisam toliko poželio ti balegara i toga, jer sam stvarno dosta ove godine imao posla s vama. Ma ne znam, hoću ići više kod njega na live. Sad sam više, malo idem kod Felixa i to je tu. Ponekad i kod njega nisam stalno. A bio sam kod Rozog ne tako davno. Prije par sedmica, možda ima njih, čak ne znam. Ti nisi bio tu, da. Jel ti pratiš boks, recimo, malo? Ili samo ova go na MMA, UFC stranja, fuj. To mrzim, nemaš puno. Ajde, kickboxi mogu gledat malo Glory to, ali jer je sličan boksu samo sa nogatanjem. Još. Hello, who else? Koga još imamo? Još je neko tu. Six 39, 639. Ajmo, javite se kogo je tu, nemoj da mi šutite, pizdala materina. Možda je to Dačo koji ne može, čiji se poruke ne vide, ne znam iz kojeg razloga, majke mi to je čuo, njega su izgleda blokirali. Svašta. Šta je sad ovo bilo? Ko prekida kontakt sa Harijem, princom, ne može bavati. I onda je da njegova ona... Joj je stova odvratna, jeboj otac ovaj Juhaug. Zelenski. No gdje sad to izgubi se jebi notir se ja. Hey, Mr. Pads. How are you? Thank you for subscribing. Yes, we are supposed to be talking about boxing. Yeah. Okay, ask me something. Alright, we had some, I just was making a video about that and then I was like, why not talk about this like live? For it's a subject that takes up a lot of time, right? Hmm. Yes. Well, most interesting fights for me. My fight of the year, huh? That's a good question. I would say probably Charlo versus Castaño too, because that was a real war and it ended in a knockout. But also, I heard Joyce versus Parker was good, but I sadly didn't get to see that yet. So I cannot, put it on there because on my list because I haven't seen it simply. What other good fights were? Yeah, I mean, Usyk versus Joshua too was not bad. The knockout of the year, I would also say the same, probably, or Crawford versus Avanesian, maybe. Most improved fighter of the year. Hmm. Well, that's a tough one. Well, I don't know really. I gotta think about it. Who? Who? Hmm. It's not Tyson Fury for sure. Andy Ruiz, maybe Andy Ruiz, you might say, because he didn't have a really good fight in his last year against Ariola. So this year he was better against Luis Ortiz. So I will say Andy Ruiz. Take the easy way out. Fighter of the year, yeah, we will definitely. I would say it is the biggest candidate. I know, no, Jesse Rodriguez, because he beat a guy who was past his best, in my opinion. Sri Saket Sonorungisai was 35 and he had been through many big, tough fights. He is a top type of fighter that gets old kind of fast, like offensive fighters. They do that. They get old quicker, I mean, than defensive fighters. Yeah, I think it irritates me how much people are all about, oh, bam, 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 he's so great. Come on, just let's see him next year what he does. Then we can say if he beats more really, big names in impressive manner, then we can say, all right, he's really great. For Fighter of the Year, Bivol and Jermel Charlo have the strongest claims. But since Bivol beat Canelo, he, I guess, should win that award. And Usyk, of course, is maybe number three there on that list. Israel Gonzalez. I don't think I saw that fight. I mean, because I live in Norway, there are many fights I don't get to see, unfortunately. I mean, not many, but some that are happen over there in America. And then when you try to find them online later, they maybe have highlights only, available. It's not so, it's hard. So that really pisses me off. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think Usyk, I would love for Usyk to beat Fury, and just because he needs that, he needs to be beaten because of his huge ego. And somebody needs to shut him up. Simple as that. I mean, I liked Fury as a fighter before, but not anymore. Now that he's been, come on, fight Eric Chisora for a third time. Dillian White, the the the. It's just terrible choices. It's not what the top fighter champion does, right? No way, man. Yeah. You know what? I'm really excited to see what happens with Lomachenko, and if he fights Haney, for instance, or Shakur Stevenson. I think sadly that he's probably that last fight showed that he's no longer at his best, but maybe it's because he had not fought so long before that. So I hope we can still see at least one or two good performances by him. I think he is capable of that, but it's the ring rust. That was the problem, and he was fighting a perfectly fine opponent. Also a good fighter. I forgot his name. It's kind of complicated name he has. Yeah, first name anyway. Yeah, I think also Shakur Stevenson probably deserves to be put there among top five of this year. Yeah, definitely. And of course, Teofimo didn't really look so impressive against Martin. I actually had him losing by 1 point because of the knockdown. Yoka versus Franco, right? Is that Kazuto? He's been around for a while now, actually. Just a moment, I didn't write in the whole. Yoka. Yeah, he's a solid fighter. Yeah, Joshua Franco, that's right. He beat Donny Nietes. This year, actually, he ended his really long streak, unbeaten streak. I mean, yeah, Yoka is a really good fighter. It's just that he's not like Inoue, so. But luckily now he doesn't have to fight him. They are no longer in the same division. Yeah, Franco beat Andrew Maloney. That's right. Huh. Yeah, those three are there definitely. Yeah, I mean Crawford had only one fight, but he really won impressively, and Usyk also he fought a really great fight and a brave fight against Joshua. But if it, I mean, in a way, I kind of was slightly disappointed again when he had fought Butler now this month because I thought he would end the fight sooner, but it took him 11 rounds. I know it wasn't easy because Butler kept fighting like this, but still, I was slightly disappointed, but still he got the knockout in the end at least. So yeah, I mean you can't always just blow away everybody like just like that. That's boxing for you. Yeah, actually, I think I would pick in Inoue probably because he also destroyed Donaire just like that. Biggest upset of the year. What would that be? Because last year there were so many upsets, but this year not so many. I'd say. Um, yeah. This was just a second. Yeah, it was last year when Cambosos beat Lopez. I don't know really. I mean, Bivol beating Canelo, we might say it's an upset, but it isn't to me really, because I knew that Bivol could do it. So yeah, I mean, probably that Sandor Martin, in my eyes anyway, won against Teofimo. I mean, even if he didn't win officially, that was an upset to me because nobody expected him to do so well, against Teofimo. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest upsets probably. Yeah, and otherwise, I don't know really. I think, I mean, I don't know really. What would you say? There were simply so many upsets this year as last year. Last year it would have been easy to pick. I mean, even not so easy because there were so many. Um, yeah, the guy who beat Warrington, I guess that was somewhat of an upset, but that was a close fight. Yeah, close fight. Joe Joyce, not really an upset that he knocked out Joseph Parker in the end. Yeah. Um, Trying to think about some anybody else. I don't follow the smallest divisions that much. That's the problem. Maybe there was some upsets. Well, anyway, Bam Bam Rodriguez, you might call it an upset because after all, he was fighting a big name, and a champion. So let's say that Bam Bam versus Risa Cat. Just has been a rather good year. I mean, especially in May, so many good fights there. Yeah, Fundora, is like has become one of my favorite fighters now. After I saw him fight Erickson Lubin, and of course, I said in that video that I had just made that Team Tzu is fighting Jermel Charlo next, so that's gonna be a potentially really great fight. Yeah, Team Tzu. That kid can fight. Maybe not as well as his father could. Anyway, we'll see. Team Tzu, let's see his record here. He's 21 and 0, right, with 15 KOs. So yeah. I mean, many people are now down on him because of that last fight against Terrell Gaucher. But, you know, I think he's still a really good contender. But probably not as good as his old man. But that's always the case. There's never like been one father and a son that were equally good in any sport. I guess there's always been one who was at least a little better than the other. And same with brothers also. Yes, it's a big, it's a big, how to say it, burden, to carry on your father's legacy, stuff like that. You know that you cannot, if you disappoint, you let down such a great legacy, such great expectations, and you kind of, ruin such a great legacy. Oh yeah, Shakur Stevenson against Valdez. That was also quite of an upset, actually, you might say. Because, Stevenson was still relatively young, fresh, and Valdez had been a champion, before 2 weeks. Robbery of the year, well, definitely Jermaine Franklin versus Dillian White. I mean, I thought Franklin won 9 rounds, I believe, or something. That was just a BS decision, really. Terrible, terrible decision. Yeah, it was. I mean, and what else? I really cannot remember such a really bad decision anywhere in any other fights. Fights, yeah. I'm trying to think. But yeah, that one, I mean, White, he was so poor in that fight. And he just kept, he was just outworked completely. He only had a strong last round and a couple more, and that's all. It's a shame Franklin doesn't have much power, otherwise, he would have stopped him, most likely. Because he landed so many punches. Amazing. Yeah. They're not very careful. So yeah, that would be clearly my choice. Hmm. Yeah, it's just like, when one guy is protected by the big player in that sport, big promoter, and the other guy is not. He's just there, to look good but not to win. That's how it goes. Not cool. Not cool. Yes. So just a second. I'm replying to someone on Facebook. All right. Any more questions? Hmm. Yeah. So we can talk about the next year's best potential fights now because we pretty much covered this year, I guess, already. Yeah. Yeah, of course, as I said, um, we already have Charles versus Team 2 planned. I mean, at super middleweight, I really love to see Benavidez finally get a fight against Canelo. That would have been a classic, but I don't know if Canelo's people really want that. Or maybe Benavidez and Plant also, versus Plant had a good year, and he knocked out, of course, knocking out Anthony Dirrell, who was a little on the slide. He was very competitive in that fight still. Hmm. Yeah, I said cruiserweight. I really like to see. In England, I mean, UK, there are two big matchups that I would love to see. Uh, at light heavyweight, Joshua Buatsi versus Anthony Yard, and at cruiserweight, Lawrence Sokoli versus Richard Riakporhe. Yeah, those would be the main ones. And because Callum Smith is already past that, he's, I think, too good to fight. I mean, he might as well fight Buatsi or Yard, especially. I don't think Buatsi is good enough. I don't think he's going to get so far. His defense so bad, so leaky. He so easy to hit him. It's amazing. I mean, for a top fighter, for a guy who's called a top fighter, and Yard does have potential, but I don't think he will ever make it too far because of the Vivo, Beterbiev and Callum Smith, even some other guys, Joe Smith Jr. Yeah, eventually Canelo, of course, he's still available to fight at 175. Maybe I don't know if he intends to fight. I think he intends to skip between 168 and 175. So yeah, so those will. But anyway, my video about that is now coming. So but I just thought that this would make a good live stream talking about this. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Pads, for joining me. Yeah, and tebi pozdrav isto. All right, I think we are just about done. Bye bye, see you. Detita.